Hello and welcome to the second video for the Pleasant Valley version 4 map. In this video I'm going to try to quickly cover all of the factories in the PV4 map. The factories all work off the same basic principles, so if you've seen one you've pretty much seen them all, so it'll be a pretty quick tutorial. This is here we're at the Heartland Bread Factory. Each factory has 3 drop-off points for 3 different products. Right here is for the bread, and they all have the same meter with the exception of 2 factories, but we'll get to them later. And it shows that we have bread ready. To make bread it takes wheat, oat, and rye. So we'll go, once you have some product ready, you go around to the pickup point at the factory. In this case, at the bread factory, it's right over here by this little ramp. Now you could back a trailer, but the Crone trailer is a little bit hard to back in, so we put the trigger out in front where you can easily load up the bread. This Crone Emlyn trailer is used for all of the factory premium item factory types except for the fertilizer, fuel, and seed. And we will eventually have other vehicles available, but for now you are limited to the Crone Emlyn trailer and to the airplanes if you're using single player. This here is a drop-off point storage. You can take it right out of the factory and put it into storage. And each of the factory storage has a pickup point. It is located on the runway. We will head over to this factory pickup point. And we'll give you an idea. That one follow the road out here. I put 2 on the same runway. Whiskey buildings right next door. Kind of saves space for all the runways here. But you can see the gauges. We have some in here. You can either fly the plane over the top or drive the tipper back over the top to load up and bring it off to your sell point. It does take a little while to process through. The gauge on the right side shows how much is in there, and the left side shows how much has been processed. It won't take long to process through the storage area, but it does take a little bit of time. Next we have the whiskey factory. Whiskey takes sugarcane, corn, and water, and the 3 drop-off spots for those are on the outside of the building. When you're ready to pick up your whiskey, you just drive through the middle, get some whiskey picked up. There we go. Popcorn Sutton's whiskey crates loaded. And you can either take it to the sell point or drive it to your storage. The storage facilities are here because the factory will fill up and have to be emptied, and you might want to store it up for the big sale. Dumping here for the storage. Back over to the runway. Show you the same thing. You'll be able to pick up the whiskey here. As you notice, a few people have mentioned that the runway lights were awful big. I sunk them into the ground further and reduced them slightly to make them a little bit less large, for lack of a better word, and a little nicer looking. And I think you'll agree it's a lot better than the way they were, and they are still very visible in the air. So a little bit of improvement on the runways. And that's pretty much the whiskey factory. And next we're going to head over to what I don't necessarily consider a factory, but it is a new feature to the Pleasant Valley 4 map. It is the mixing station. Creates mixed ration with the same ingredients that are used to make mixed ration. The only difference here is you can also load up your bales to make your mixed ration. There are actually 2 mixing stations. I don't have them preloaded, but you can see that you've got silage, hay bales, and straw bales. You can also dump the loose stuff in each of those bins. They have the same meters right next to size. So there is 25,000 mixed ration in there. Drive under the spigot. Up, and there you go. We have mixed ration. There you go. So that's how the mixed ration mixing facility works. It gives a little scale there, weighs it. Next we will be moving on to the next factory, which is Black-Cap Birdseed Company. Birdseed, again, takes 3 products. Birdseed is corn, millet, and sunflower. Outputs birdseed. You can see there's 9,000 some birdseed ready. It basically works the same way. You drive down one side of the building and drop off those 3 products right here in each of the silos. And when the birdseed is ready, you drive down through this other side here and it will load your trailer with the birdseed. Once you have the birdseed, the storage point for birdseed is right back here by the runway. And again, you can see the pickup spot on the runway there for the birdseed. We'll move on to the next place. We have the textile company. You'll see it takes mushrooms, cotton, and hemp and outputs textiles to this textile bay right over here, which we can drive across or back in if you want to try to back this trailer in. Some of the vehicles that we'll be coming out with will be much easier to back in. Looking at box trucks or van type things for delivering. And there we go, loading up textiles. And for the textile drop-off spot, go around the back of the building, and there's a box right here for dropping off textiles. And your runway pickup spot is right across from it, right there. And we'll move on to the next one, which is the fuel factory. Fuel takes corn, sorghum, and sugarcane, dump them into there, and then you drive over this box with the fuel trailer and it will fill it up. Once you have a full fuel trailer filled, you can come back and load it into these storage tanks back here by just driving up. Or you can also bring it around to the farms and unload it into the farm storage tanks that are just like this. One of the things about this mod that I don't quite understand is when you unload, you do have to exit the vehicle and just get right back in, and you'll be able to drive it. It kind of locks it there until you exit and re-enter, so that's something important to remember. Also with the fuel, in the preferred mods pack, we will have a few different types of containers that can hold fuel. We have this small fuel tanker that is portable. You can bring it out in your fields, set it down, pull up your vehicle next to it for a fill trigger. This one is full, and or you can easily empty them into the runway storage spot if you need to bring your planes in for fuel delivery. There it is. That fuel tank is empty. There is another tank here that has a larger capacity that can be lifted with the forklift. I'm not going to do it just to save time. We have this blue tank that's also part of the preferred pack. Holds 8,395. For this purpose, I am going to drive it over the top of here unload instantly unloads. If we want to go over here, I'll show you this tank a little bit better. You can see that we get the R key to refill the wagon. It is refilling, and if you can see the meter on the tank, it actually is going down, and tells you also how much you picked up for that load. One of the interesting things about that also is you can see it filling up by leaving the trailer, and also you get the gauge down in the bottom right hand corner again, showing that it's filling up. And last but not least, we have this shell tanker. It works the same way as the others, but you can tandem the shell tanker truck together, link them together, get multiple shell tankers on there, and that's pretty much fuel. Then we have the seed Park Seed Company. Basically, for making seed, any of the crops that are grown and harvested can be dumped in, and it's a 1-to-1 conversion ratio. Or the crops go in, and on the other side, the seed will come out. Fertilizer works a little differently, very similar to the seed. We have here a load of liquid manure, 150,000 liquid manure. The fertilizer plant converts liquid manure, solid manure, or silage into the chemical fertilizer that can be used in most of the fertilizer spreaders. Just drive up, boom, dumped, and then it converts it. This is an overloader trailer that has specifically also been edited to only be able to carry the seed and the fertilizer, so you can actually bring the seed and fertilizer out in the field to fill up your vehicles with seed and fertilizer. None of it's processed yet. I'm going to speed up time just a little bit here. Pick up a load of fertilizer. And with this, you can use the left shift and the A and D keys to move the pipe over a seeder or a fertilizer. If you're carrying seed, you can move it over a seeder and fill up the seeder directly. You can also use it as a tipper to fill up the seed pallets on the farms, and also fill up the storage area, which helps it if you're doing crop dusting. You can land the plane right here at the fertilizer factory and then take off with a full load of fertilizer. And for juice, we take watermelon, honey melon, and water, and then we can load up at the juice bay right here. Mellow juice. Once you got the load, you can either take it off to sell, or you can bring it to the runway drop off spot, which is on this side of the building right here in the corner. And load it into the runway storage area. And that's pretty much it for factories. I didn't cover one factory, the gold factory, which I will go over in the sand and gravel video, which will be the next video, and show you everything you can do with sand and gravel. Until next time, everybody have a good day, and we'll be back soon with another video for you. Sand and gravel.